today's tutorial, we are going to learn about what are the constraints and why it is used. As you can see in onto the screen, we have a table, create table name, where we have this. If I execute this table, so if you can see, I have entered null values multiple times, which is of no use. What we need to do is we need to make our table smart enough so that validate the data at the time of insertion. So constraints are basically set of rules or which we are going to keep in mind whenever we are inserting data into the database. There are multiple types of constraints. The first one is not null, the second is primary key, the third one is foreign key, the fourth one is check, and the fifth one is create index. We can create the index. Sixth one is default. Now the trick to remember it, as we will take only the first letter of all these constraints, and I have created this fun pccd. So the syntax is create table name, and then we will write the column name, then we will write the data type, then we will write the constraint will come at the last of every column. The first constraint is not null. It won't take any null value onto that particular column. The syntax is here the column name, data type, and not null. We will simply write not null. Now the example is the first name, then we will write the data type, that is varchar, then we will write not null. Okay, so here I have given all columns as not null, so all the columns won't be taking null values as a input. A second constraint is unique will ensure that all the values into a table must be different. Unique and not null are two different things. I have employee ID, a constraint as unique, so I have entered a employee ID as 101, 102. Now I am trying to enter null value, so will it accept or not? It will accept because the value is unique, null is unique, right? So to avoid that, what we can do is we need to put two validations, that is two constraints with the same column. In that we will write column name, data type, unique, and with comma separated we will write not null. Now moving on to the third topic, that is primary key. Like we have table A and table B, column 1, that is C1, and here C1 will be, the values will be same. So now what primary key does, so it's a combination of not null and unique. What will be the example? So example is create table. Simply how the way we create the table, that will be similar over here as well. Almost all the time we give primary key to IDs only, because IDs are numbers and numbers are most of the time are unique and they are easy to track into other tables as well. What foreign key is now? We have one table, table A, where primary key is defined, table B. Now here we will be defining to the same column a foreign key. The use of the foreign key is to prevent the action that would destroy links between the tables. So if suppose I have a table employee and employee ID, I have 101 001. So this 001 and this 1001 will be different. So the linking will be broken. To make those table into sync, we need to declare a foreign key into this table, and this table will be considered as a child table, and the primary key, where the primary key is defined, this will be considered as a parent table. If you see here, we have an example table, then we have employee, then here employee ID, first name, last name, department ID. Here department ID is primary key. So now department ID here is a foreign key. Foreign key prevents invalid data insertion. What is default? If any value is not provided to any particular column, we can have a default value for that column, and that value will be stored. It will have the column name, then we will have the data type, then we will write the keyword as default. The company is situated in Pune, so most of the employees are from Pune. We will give a default as Pune. Employee is added, and if the location is default, that is Pune, it will take the Pune as a city name. So now what is create index? It is used to speed up the query execution. Create index and then index name, then we will write on, then we will write table name, the table from which these columns are going to be fetched. We will write create, then we will write index, and then we will write the name of the index. Now, if you see here, I have used multiple constraints. So now in ID, I have used not null and unique. I have used two constraints into a single onto a single column. We can use multiple, constraints if we want. Then we have age. Check is a condition or a constraint. Check if age is greater than 18 or not. If it is not, then do not take that particular record. If the age is greater than 18, only then take that record or that employee. So now I will execute this. These columns are created. Now what I will do, I will enter one valid record which is satisfying all the conditions which I have entered into the table creation. I will try to enter some invalid record and I will check what happens. Employee ID, I'm trying to enter null value. Execute this. So I can see that statement has been terminated. Here if you see, we were able to add null value, but here we are not able to because we have entered this condition. So I'm trying to enter a null value. It gives me an error, 17 is less than 18. So now if I try to enter this record, I will be getting again a violation of unique key constraint. Cannot insert duplicate key in object DBO. Now the again one more thing is like the unique key constraint. Here I am trying to enter the same value. So if I do it like this and I try to execute this, here if you see the insert statement conflicted with check constraint. Here I have given the name, here I have given the name, I have kept a default, and then if I execute this, default as Pune. Next thing is indexing. It is used for speeding up the process. That's all for today. In next tutorial we will be discussing about the alteration, how to alter the table. These all things we will be learning into next tutorial, and till then you can practice these things and on your machines. And if you have any questions, any queries, put me a comment. I will try to answer as early as possible. So till then, goodbye.